What's up, everybody? Soul here with another Final Fantasy Tactics Ivalice Chronicles video, and today I want to just give you a quick rundown on Zodiac compatibility. I've had quite a few comments where people had questions, they didn't understand it, and some people even said they just preferred to ignore it. However, the reason I want to make this video is not only has it been requested, but I want to express how important it is in the game. As you can see right here in general information, Zodiac compatibility has a multiplier that affects generally everything in the game. Whether it's damage dealt, damage taken, chances of accuracy on abilities, you name it, Zodiac compatibility is playing a huge role in the game. And so, just to go over it really quickly, if you have a good compatibility, so we're going to pick Capricorn here just to give it an example. You have two Zodiac symbols that you will have a bad compatibility with. You'll have two that you have a good compatibility with, and then you'll have one that you have the best and or worst compatibility with. And so, best being any humans, male or female. This has been changed in the Ivalice Chronicles. It used to be you had to be the opposite gender. Now it's male or female, period, dot, for humans. And monsters, it's the worst if they're a monster. So bestiality is absolutely a shame. Huge shout out. Thank you for mentioning this right here. Thank you again, Magicite Heart. Really great mention right there. With that said, you see right here, if you have a bad compatibility, you get a times 0.75 multiplier, meaning that all those attacks or accuracies are 25% worse than what they would be otherwise. If it's a good compatibility, then they're 25% better than they would be otherwise, dealing 25% more damage, healing for 25% more damage, health, that is, or, those entices being 25% more effective, steals, you name it. And then, of course, best or worst is 50% bonus or penalty to all of those different modifiers. And so I want to quickly jump over here, take a look at Thief. Thief has quite a few great abilities. We really like to steal and steal different weapons and equipment in the game. And so you can see right here, the only modifiers that go into stealing is the success percentage and then the speed. And so I've already covered this in the how to steal video, so make sure you go check that out. And I also have an Entice video. Well, I'm going to go over that as well here in just a second, but make sure you check those videos out as they have great information on those abilities. But as you can see, the success percentage modifier is literally just your Zodiac compatibility. And so it is a huge part of the game. It deeply impacts so many different things you do in the game, and stealing is absolutely impacted by this, and in a really big way. More than stealing, in my opinion, Entice is affected by this. So Entice is one that we really like. Here it is right here. This is Entice. The most that we're going to be able to get out of our Entices is 20 accuracy base plus magic attack. And it's 1 for 1, basically. So 1 magic attack is 1 accuracy. It's really hard to get that percentage up. And so your biggest factor in enticing, arguably and almost undeniably, is your Zodiac compatibility. So this is a really, really big deal. Now, for that Zodiac compatibility, you can check, of course, you can check the Chronicle Stratagems for Battle under the Advanced tab, and so you will get a nice little breakdown of each Zodiac's compatibility, what they work with, what they don't work with, and so it's a great resource for in-game. And then, of course, out of game, I really, really like to use Final Fantasy Tactics Companion, where they have a great breakdown for these Zodiac compatibilities. You just click up here at the top and then go down to Zodiac compatibility. Bada bing, you are here. And so let's briefly go over each one of these. I'll just tell you what's good with what. This is something you can easily see for yourself, but I'm going to go ahead and cover it. Starting with Capricorn, because that is Ramza's starting sign and is arguably the best sign for him to use in the game. Capricorn has a bad affinity with Aries and Libra, but is good with Virgo and Taurus, and has the best and or worst compatibility, best for human, worst for monster, and Cancer. Sagittarius has the worst and worst with Virgo and Pisces, has good compatibility with Aries and Leo, and the best/worst with Gemini. Scorpio has the worst with Aquarius. Has bad compatibility with Aquarius and Leo, good compatibility with Pisces and Cancer, and the worst or best with Taurus. Libra has bad compatibility with Capricorn and Cancer, good with Aquarius and Gemini, and the best or worst with Aries. Virgo has bad with Sagittarius and Gemini, good with Capricorn, Taurus, and the best or worst with Pisces. Leo has bad with Scorpio and Taurus, good with Sagittarius and Aries, and the worst with Aquarius, and or best, of course. Cancer has bad with Libra and Aries, Scorpio and Pisces for good, and best or worst with Capricorn. Gemini has the bad for Pisces and Virgo, good for Aquarius and Libra, and the worst for Sagittarius. Taurus has bad for Leo and Aquarius, good for Virgo and Capricorn, and best for Scorpio or worst. Aries has bad for Cancer and Capricorn, good for Sagittarius and Leo, and best or worst for Libra. Pisces has bad for Gemini, Sagittarius, good for Cancer and Scorpio, and worst and or best for Virgo. And then finally, Aquarius has bad for Taurus and Scorpio, good for Libra and Gemini, and or worst or best for Leo. Those are your zodiac compatibilities. Now, I will say this. You get to choose what zodiac compatibility you use for your character in the beginning of the game. You're Ramza. And so play it the way you want and do what you want. Have fun with it. It does add some extra challenges, especially in those boss fights and so on and so forth, where those different bosses have the zodiac symbols. I'm going to put an image up right here for you to look at. And so there you have it. As you can see, this, of course, is not specific to the Ivalice Chronicles. It does contain information on characters that are not included in the game, that are a part of the War of the Lions version of the game. So please dismiss characters like Balthier and Luso, Alistair, things like that. However, there are still a lot of characters that are in the Ivalice Chronicles that are listed here. And as you can see, it gives you some great insight as to what you're wanting to do and or deal with. Because when you're fighting these bosses like Wegraf, when you have that 1v1 or whatever it may be, you want to make sure that you're able to survive and deal with those bosses. And they will do more damage to you based on, or less of course, based on your zodiac compatibility. So if you have a quote-unquote good compatibility with a boss, then they're going to do more damage to you. If you have the best, they're going to do the most damage to you, and vice versa. And so that's a big deal. And then, of course, the same is true going the other way. How much damage you deal to them and the accuracy of your abilities, like your entices and your stills, stuff like that. And so bear that in mind. It absolutely impacts the game very, very heavily. The last thing I'll say about it before we wrap this video up is that I highly suggest when you start your game or you're running your game, or maybe even towards the later stage of the game, whenever, you pick up your healer that is primarily built around your character, whoever it may be, that is your main focus. You probably have a team or one or two characters are your main focus. Have your healer have the best compatibility with that or those characters, because that's going to make their healing spells be far more effective on them, which is a huge deal. And then also, the most important arguably is the raises will be far more effective. There's nothing worse than waiting the charge time, casting a raise, you're running out of hearts, your character's about to turn into a crystal and just be dead forever, permadeath, and then you have that 76% chance to heal or raise, and you'd miss it, and it doesn't happen. It's the worst. Or buffs don't apply, protect, shell, you name it. But if you have the best compatibility, those success rates almost consistently are 100%. It is very, very good. It is a huge suggestion I'm going to make to you, so make sure you do it. My Ramza is a Capricorn, and Ramza's healing in my playthrough is a Cancer, and that's pouty. So really, really big deal. Cancer and Capricorn have the best synergy, and so pouty is consistently able to support Ramza, revive him, 100% accuracy over and over again. All her buffs land on him. It's amazing, and it's very beneficial. It really helps in the game, so especially on tactician mode, let me tell you, because I'm sweating over here in this mode. So if you're checking out this video and you're enjoying it, maybe you need some more insider guides, or maybe you just want to have, a better understanding of the game, make sure you check out my playthrough videos. I have a series where I'm completely playing through the game on tactician mode, and it's all fresh. The last time I played this game was on War of the Lions some 10 years ago, and so you're going to be exploring it and seeing it with me. No spoilers other than what you will see in the playthrough, of course. I'm not going to speak ahead as to what's going to happen. I've generally just taken it all in stride. And so if you want to see that and you want to enjoy it and experience that with me, please check out those videos. Thanks. With that all said, I hope you've enjoyed the video. It's a quick one. Just wanted to give you some insight on that. I know a lot of people are asking for it, so I want to make sure I get something out on it. Huge shout out and thank you to my Patreon members. I really appreciate y'all. You guys and gals are the ones that make it all possible for me to make content, get the videos out, and to have everything rolling. So thank you so much for your support. Make sure you check out the links down below for our Patreon, as well as our Discord, where we talk all things Final Fantasy and then some. And yeah, until next time, I will catch you later. Bye.